After an amazing game week last week, my wildcard is now active. So make sure you watch this whole video because there are some big changes to my team. Hello everyone, my name is Akshay and welcome back to a brand new FPL video. Today is a big video because I have activated my wildcard finally. But just before we get started, if you do enjoy the video, please do leave it a like and also subscribe to the channel. But just before I show you my wildcard, I'm just going to have my old team on screen right now so you guys can memorize this and then compare with my new wildcard team. If you watched my last video or follow me on Twitter, you guys will know that I had an amazing game week in game week 26. But anyway, this week is a huge game week for double game week 27, which is why I've activated my wildcard. I've stuck to my plans because I'm trying to plan at least 2 to 3 weeks in advance now. So make sure you watch this whole video because I'm not only going to show you my wildcard, but I'm also going to give you some hints at what I'm thinking and my plans for the upcoming game weeks because there are a lot of big double game weeks coming up and also a blank game week. So here is my wildcard team. In goal I have Raya, and then in defense I have Estepinian, me, Trippier. In midfield, 5 midfielders for this week: Salah, Rashford, Saka, March, McAllister, and then up front we have Haaland and Tony. On the bench I've kept Kepa, I've kept Iheanacho, I've kept Zinchenko, and I've transferred in Botman. So there are a lot of changes to my wildcard team, in total 9 changes, so I'll run you through them. So I've taken out Bueno, Patterson, Trent, and Akanji, and I put in Botman, Trippier, me, and Estepinian. And then in midfield, I've taken out Mahrez, Garnacho, and Odegaard, and then put in McAllister, March, and Saka. I've taken out Pope and replaced him with Raya. And then up front, I've taken out Darwin and replaced him with Tony. Of course, this week, Tony is my captain as he plays Everton and Southampton, which on paper are very good fixtures. I have 6 players double in this game week, including Raya, me, Tony, Estepinian, March, and McAllister. A lot of people all week on Twitter have been discussing whether to put March, McAllister, or Mitoma in, or if they're putting 2 players in, which 2 out of them. I've personally gone with March and McAllister because March's overall stats are incredibly good, but also McAllister, thing to note with him, his stats are also extremely good. The one thing with Mitoma is though, he is very nice to watch on the eye, which is why of course a lot of people put him in, and he's also explosive on his day. However, if you do look at the stats, he is overperforming what his expected points are at the moment. And here are some really interesting stats on the 3 of them, which will explain how Mitoma's extremely overperforming and March and McAllister are slightly underperforming. So Mitoma's expected points over the last 5 games have been 23. And he's recorded 38 points. So a huge points difference there, 15 points difference from his expected to what he actually got. March's expected points in the last 5 were 32 and he's only got 20 points, so of course underperforming. And then McAllister in the last 5 has only played 4 of the last 5 games. His expected points were 28 and he's actually got 18. However, it's funny because March and McAllister's stats are a lot better than Mitoma's. For example, March's expected assists in the last 5 have been 2.9. McAllister's has been 1 and Mitoma's only 0.88. And the same with goals. So McAllister's expected goals over the last 5 games have been 3. March's 1.7 and Mitoma's only 1.2. Whereas March and McAllister have only scored 1 goal each and Mitoma scored 3 goals. So it's crazy. I know how a lot of us always just are very stat driven, but sometimes just a good performance will completely outdo and throw all the stats in the bin because it's about how you perform on the day, really, isn't it? But I may sound like I'm contradicting myself here because you're probably thinking, why haven't you just gone for Mitoma then? But I am a stat guy and I prefer to put my trust in the stats a little bit more than just one-off explosive performances, which is why I've gone with March and McAllister. A slight differential in the team as well is Ben Mee. A lot of people have put Rico Henry in. His expected ownership is now nearing to 20%. I've retransferred in Saka now as well. I took him out, I believe, around 5-6 game weeks ago now, and it wasn't a terrible decision because I replaced him with Odegaard and Mahrez to free up a little bit of funds at the time, and they did really well. But of course, Saka has just been absolutely on fire at the moment. So I did lose out slightly on a few points, but it isn't the end of the world. So I've put him back in now because obviously he's on penalties as well, and he's Arsenal's main man. I've also put Trippier back in, which was my plan, as I said when I transferred him out, and I also transferred out Botman at the time. So I brought both of them Newcastle boys back in, and I've also put in Tony again. I had him midway through the season, but now, of course, in my opinion, he's an absolute must-have. Probably the biggest must-have out of the forwards at the moment because Brentford have 2 double game weeks coming up, and Tony's on very good form at the moment, so you have to have him in your team. But other than that, I've kept Kepa, Iheanacho, and Zinchenko, like I said. I did want to transfer out Iheanacho, and I was thinking, who can I replace him with? However, Iheanacho's expected points over the next 5 games are the 3rd highest out of all the forwards. Leicester have some decent fixtures coming up away from, obviously, this week against Chelsea, but their double game week in 29 is against Crystal Palace and Aston Villa, which I hopefully am backing Iheanacho to score a few goals there. Like I said in my last video, I watched the Leicester game, and he literally could have scored such an easy hat-trick, but it was unfortunate. But anyway, that is pretty much it. I'm happy with my wildcard team. I'm happy with the timing of the wildcard team. And then quickly, I'll just brush over some plans that I have in my head of what I think I'm going to do for blank game week 28, because I only have 8 players playing at the moment in blank game week 28. So I'm thinking, it's not 100% confirmed, I'm thinking to take out Haaland and Salah, so my 2 big players, and replace them with Kane and Maddison. But things could change in the next week, let's see. But yeah, that is pretty much it. But like always, if you guys have any questions or dilemmas, you're struggling with anything with your teams for the upcoming game weeks, then make sure you comment down below. I'll reply to all the comments. But other than that, if you did enjoy the video, please do leave a like and also subscribe to the channel. It really helps the channel out. Good luck for game week 27, and I will see you in the next FPL video.